Um, all right. Hi. My name is Devayani Shankar, and I am part of the Tri-Valley Sakhi group, doing this little segment with you gals. So thank you so much for being here. I see three screens. I see three screens on my. I see three windows on my screen. Rashika, you are wrapping up your undergrad in kinesiology. Pooja here, you're an investment banker, and Sanjna into real estate business. So thank you so much. It's really diverse, I think, to be able to talk to you guys and get to know you a little bit. So I'm going to get started with something very simple. I'm just curious to know about your mindset when you chose what you chose as your major in school. And I'm sure you had your career in mind when you picked your major or got into a college that you got into. So we're going to start with Rashika. Just take a few minutes and then share your mindset when you chose what you did. Go ahead, Rashika.
Hi. Okay. So for me going into physical therapy, I feel like to me that's more of a career rather than a job. And to me that comes from a passion for physical therapy and helping people recover from injuries, helping people go about their daily lives and return to the goals that they had set forth for them. And to me, that's something that I'm very passionate about from coming from a service background. And so looking into careers, I think that's something that I considered. I didn't want to do something just for money. I wanted to do something that felt fulfilling to me. And since as an athlete for most of my high school career and competing nationally and internationally for Taekwondo, I feel like injuries and just being around sports in general was definitely something that was a big part of my upbringing, as well as just being a spectator to professional sports. And so physical therapy to me is more than something I'm going to clock in, clock out, and that's why I was drawn to it.
Thank you. Thank you. How about you, Sanjana?
Hi, so I went into college and I did marketing. I just like the creativity aspect of it, and I always thought I wanted to go into real estate. I did a few internships in college. I really enjoyed it, and I chose real estate because long term I wanted to invest in properties and, retire early and live off of my investment properties. But I actually, 6 months in after graduating, I realized I actually didn't like real estate anymore because it wasn't very fulfilling. There was no mission statement in real estate, and there's no satisfaction to my job. So I actually quit 3.5, 4 months back, and now I work in tech, and I feel a lot more fulfillment because they have a really nice mission statement, and I feel like I'm doing something more impactful than something just for myself. So it's crazy because I thought for like 5+ years I wanted to go into real estate, and I was doing really well in it, but I realized long term I didn't want to be in the real estate business. I think after I save a lot of money, I definitely want to invest. And I don't regret not going into real estate because now I know everything about investing, and I know I'm going to be a great investor, and I'm going to have a really bright future just doing property investments on my own.
Oh, that's I like your confidence. How about you, Pooja?
For me, going into college, I feel like I really didn't know what I wanted to do, but I personally couldn't imagine myself kind of staring at a computer all day long and just typing away, since I love talking to people. I love the client-facing side and the technical side of stuff. So for me, business was kind of a good balance. And so when deciding my major, I kind of just fell into it. I was like, oh, business is in every kind of aspect of your life, of different industries, and there's a lot of things to learn. So kind of right now I'm working in finance, but I think that finance also introduces an opportunity to kind of learn about different industries and different aspects. And I think eventually I'll be able to more formulate my pathway because I'm still figuring it out. I like what I do, but I think I was glad I chose business.
Ah, that's awesome. It's pretty interesting that all of you started with something and you built on it And then it's a learning experience, I feel, just listening to the three of you. That's great. That's great. It's just amazing. So now that we're at the end of 2020, right? It's been an unprecedented year. Nobody ever expected 2020 is going to be like this when we started off in January. I always feel you always think about goals depending on how your previous year experience has been, your ups and downs, and you build on it when you are laying out your goals for the next year. So now that we're at the end of 2020 and ushering into 2021, I just want to hear a little bit about what you gals have in mind. What are you thinking? What are your priorities, considering we had a very unprecedented 2020? Again, I'm going to start with Rashika. Go ahead, unmute, and share a little bit about what you have in mind for the next year.
So I think most of my goals didn't actually get affected by 2020. Just the access to opportunities being in the health field was what was the most challenging part about the pandemic. But initially, I was going to apply into physical therapy school. Since I'm my final year undergrad, I was going to apply to physical therapy school this past summer, but decided to take a gap year instead. And so that fell into line with the whole pandemic. So it gave me another year to fulfill my prerequisites and to get shadowing hours. But it has been the goal to go to a 3-year doctorate of physical therapy program. And then from there, I would start practicing. And just being in this sort of specificity of field and specificity of subject matter, I feel like I had to, this is the only way with my education level. I'm going to be working in very minimum wage jobs, and I just won't be able to grow too much in the position as you might be able to do in other areas. So physical therapy school has been the trajectory, and going into 2021, it's going to be graduating. I applied to study abroad and through the Fulbright program and teach English abroad. So I was following a passion that, I may not see the connection to physical therapy, but will, I think, serve me well still in my future.
So you kind of have a positive feeling for 2021?
I think if I was going into physical therapy school and applying and being able to get those prerequisites and all the shadowing experience out, I think it would be a totally different experience. So since I get to take sort of a breath year, I feel like that gives the world a little bit more time to return to normalcy before I need it to be there.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Sanjna?
So 2020 was kind of rough for everyone. For me, it was kind of difficult because I was transitioning jobs, and that period of time was, really stressful, but I'm glad I got through it. And from that, I just learned that hard work is really important, and you have to take action if you're not happy. You can't just not do anything about it, even if things are more difficult than it was before. You still have to work hard. And I think after working hard, it's important to reward yourself as well. And my 2021 goals aren't very related to work. It's more of personal aspirations now that I have kind of my job taken care of. I definitely want to read more because we have more time. I've been learning Adobe Illustration, so I kind of just want to do more of that. And the biggest thing, anything, is just staying off my phone and just being more present. That's the biggest thing for me. Sorry, this is not very work related. It's more.
Yeah, that's okay. Goals, priorities, everything are connected, right? Personal, professional, you feed into each other. Did you say you want to read more?
Yeah, I've picked up quite a few books. I just bought a new one yesterday, which I'm excited to dive into. I actually didn't really like reading too much growing up, but now something in 2020 that I realized was constant learning. And I feel like even if I read things that aren't related to business, everything is interconnected. So I just can transfer what I read into work as well.
What kind of genres?
I like something I can learn from, like history. I don't really like realistic fiction. I just want something where I can learn. The new book I picked up is about your brain. So that's like really, really interesting. It's about neuroscience and the physics of time. Those are the types of books I really enjoy reading. I just finished reading Are You a Machine? So it just talks about the soul, and that type of stuff really interests me, how the soul, is that connected to your body, or like is it separate from your body? I like those type of books.
Oh, wow. That's pretty cool. That's good. So how about you, Pooja?
For me, it's kind of also the same as Sanjna, except that I am a first year, so I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate the pathway of full-time life and not having breaks like in college or high school. So like, obviously I want to do better in my job and continue learning and meeting new people, but personally I'm moving to New York, hopefully soon. And so it's for me like finding a new apartment, meeting new friends, exploring the city, and that's kind of more my goals because we've all obviously been cooped up the entire 2020. So 2021 kind of gives us that way to go about it. And so that's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad people are not hung up on how 2020 was and then carried on to 2021. Hope is a good thing, right? And that's what I see and hear talking to you. And it's really nice to hear your perspectives about how or what you're going to be doing next year. I was just thinking, do you guys think it is very important to have priorities or goals, or is it okay to just start off the year with a clean slate and then go with the flow? How, when people listen to you, what is it that you're going to tell them? Okay, if you don't have goals, that's fine, or is it important to have some as you move into the next year? Go ahead, Rashika.
Well, I think the biggest thing for me, especially in my undergrad, has been getting mentors. And that's something that in this past 2020 I was able to accomplish. I have developed really good relationships with the mentors that I have right now. And believe it or not, my networking opportunities were on Instagram. And so I actually met a mentor over on the East Coast, like going to school in Texas, being from the West Coast, like who would have ever thought that I would be connected with her? And she actually got me interested in pelvic health physical therapy. So I think even if you don't have cut and clear goals and priorities, I think it's still important to be thinking about the next step while still, like Sanjna said, you want to live in the present moment. You want to take in what's happening in the now, but it's good to have some direction, and just like it kind of gives you a reason to wake up in the morning. And I think for me, as long as I have something that I'm looking forward to in the day, in the week, in the month, that's a good way to like live your life. And they don't have to be rigid goals, but if you're like, okay, I would like to find a niche within physical therapy that I really want to pursue, or if I want to perhaps get some shadowing opportunity, but I'm not restricting myself to a particular setting, I think that's the kind of goals and stuff that you would want to set at the beginning of the year. And obviously, like New Year's resolutions, a lot of people say that like by February or March, they're out the window. So you'd want to make things that are sort of like short-term and long-term. So like I'll make, like in January, I'll probably make like a monthly goal that I want to achieve by then. But I'll also look at my 5-year and 10-year plan, 15-year plan, like not just 1 year, and just hope that I can keep up the motivation then.
So it's more short-term and long-term goals, right?
Right. I think both of them are important. Like if I'm just like, okay, well, tomorrow I need to make sure I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then that's a goal. And like if I get that, that's something to be proud of. But celebrate the small victories, celebrate the big victories. You got to look in the now, in the future, everything. I think you got to have a balance of both.
Oh, good. So how about you, Sanjna? Do you feel the same way too? Or just live for the moment?
I agree with Rashika. I honestly think it's important to have some type of goal, even if it's not like career-based. It can be anything. Something that I believe in is that every day counts and you should work hard every day. Like don't waste each day. I am like type A, so I like to plan a lot. So I usually write down what I want to accomplish in that day, and I try to like, check it off before I go to bed. And I mean, honestly, whenever I make those like 5-year, 10-year goals, it usually doesn't happen, or it's not like how I expected it to be. Like because I transitioned from real estate to tech, it just happened as part of life. But I think you should have some type of outlook, like something broad, but I do believe that you should have something you're working towards every day, or else I feel like the day is just wasted.
Yeah, yeah. How about you, Pooja? Do you share the same thoughts?
Yeah, I do share the same thoughts. I think for me, up until college, which I guess was last year, I was much of a planner and like I was like, this is what I want to do next year. This is what I want to do in 2 years. But ever since graduating, I've kind of decided that like it's more fun and enjoyable to kind of go with the flow and see what's going to come next, because it's really hard to plan ahead. And also now, like, we're not looking to the next stage of graduation. Well, I guess Rashika is, but for us, we graduated. Like, we don't know what the next steps are, so it's kind of nice to see how life goes. And I think a good way for me to like think about prioritizing is talking to mentors who are maybe a year above and seeing what they've done and what they've enjoyed or appreciated about their goals, and seeing if that kind of fits into my lifestyle and what I want to do. And I think that's kind of how I look at goals.
Oh, cool. Just listening to the three of you, it feels like it is important to have goals, short-term, long-term. And I also hear having a mentor seems to be the thing for setting your goals and to work on it. But that's awesome. So just a fun question. So is there anything crazy that you have in your mind but you're afraid to try? And will you give it a try in 2021? Who wants to go first? Okay, Rashika, go first, since we're going this way.
Oh man, this is something. I think for me, since like physical therapy literally is I walk, breathe, eat, dream, everything physical therapy. So for me, it's still going to sound like a professional goal, but it's truly like overlaps with my personal goals as well.
Like a crazy goal?
I mean, I think maybe this is not going to happen in the next year, but I would like to, like, with, like, smaller stature, I feel like I've been told that I can't work with professional athletes, and because I just won't be able to give them treatment the way that they would want to receive it being so big. Like, I don't think I could be able to exert as much force, and so I want to explore different ways that I can, like, help them despite like my stature, and like whether it's like tools or techniques or something like that. Like I think that's always been something. And I recently just started working back with the chiropractor that I interned with my freshman year of college, and I'm already starting to head in that way. Like just last week I was working with like some MLB players, and it's kind of getting me there. Like these guys are like towering over me. They're like 6 foot, 6 foot plus. And so I'm like, okay, I need to figure out how me as a 5'3" girl is going to make an impact on their sports performance, their rehab, whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah. How about you, Pooja? Have you had, you always have these things in your mind, right? Oh, I want to do this crazy thing, but I'm afraid to try. Are you going to try something like that?
I don't know about 2021, but I mean, I love traveling. I studied abroad of 2 years, or I guess, yeah, a year ago, thinking about it now. And I think from that, I've always thought like, oh, what would it be like if I moved to Europe for a year or something like that? And I think that would definitely scare my family, but eventually I do want to maybe live in a different country or something just to explore a different culture.
Yeah, that's exciting, right? That's crazy too. How about you, Sanjna? Anything crazy you have in mind?
My answer is very similar to Pooja's actually. I'm really shy, especially in group settings. And I think something that would help me with that is if I solo traveled somewhere. That's something really crazy for me. I can't even imagine like going somewhere new by myself, but I eventually want to break out of my shell and try solo traveling. I've heard many great stories. Like my friends who had solo travel, they all just said it's like the best thing and most eye-opening experience, and that's something hopefully I can get over my shyness and just do it.
So where do you want to go? It's a crazy place.
I think for solo traveling, I would try to do Spain. I think a lot of people here are very young, so I think that would be a really fun and adventurous place to go to.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, for me, I have a crazy idea of skydiving. I don't know if I'll do it, but I'm just scared to death to do it. Maybe I'll give it a shot 2021. Let's see. I hope. So we're going to wrap up with this last question. So I'm sure people will view your recording. 2 words. What 2 words should come to their mind listening to you speak? It could be anything that describes you. Rashika, go first.
I would probably say like passion and authenticity. I think the worst crime that you commit to yourself is trying to be someone else, and like we already face imposter syndrome and that kind of stuff, just being ourselves. So why bother trying to be someone else? Be yourself, do what feels meaningful to you, and I think that everything else will fall into place.
So it's more passionate and authenticity? Okay.
Yeah,
Those are good words.
Be authentic to yourself.
Okay. How about you, Sanjna? 2 words when they listen to you speak. What do you think should come to their mind?
2 words. I think I would say hard work and happiness.
Oh, that's good. Pooja?
For me, it's probably like curious and friendly because like I love meeting new people, making friends.
Nice, nice. You guys didn't say smiling, loving, caring. I'm just kidding. So good. I'm so glad you guys took the time to log in and talk to me. So I'm going to wrap up saying stay safe, stay healthy, happy holidays, enjoy with your loved ones, and I wish you all a very, very happy, happy, happy New Year. All right? Take care and stay safe.
Happy holidays. Thank you.
Thank you.
You too.